Welcome to the Team Barrett Lotus Connections Community Training video. This is Bill Sharon. I'm one of the software IT architects supporting the team, and I'm the one that put together the site. So by now you have gotten an email inviting you to the site, and so we're just going to start from scratch. If you've never been into Connections, you just need to have your IBM email and your internet password. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, since this is the first time I've done it on this computer. And this will take you, when you get into your home page, and we can do more training on the whole connection site in general. But I'd like to show you how to navigate from your home page to get to the community. So as you can see, we have your home page from Connections, Profiles, which is where you connect to folks like you can on Facebook and have friends of friends, communities, blogs, bookmarks, activities, files, and wikis. So we have a team community that we're going to be talking about, which is where we can track our pipeline, talk to each other via the forum, and things like that. Once you get into the communities, what you'll see when it comes up here is that you have the idea of public communities, which maybe you've already become a member of, and then also my communities. So I'm going to go to my communities, and it defaults to sorting by the most recently update, but you can also get to your communities alphabetically, or the most popular, which is the number of members. So as you can see, I've been pretty busy with Team Barrett. So that's why it bubbles up to the top. I've been putting in files. Cindy has given us our entitlement files per all the customers that we have. So when this comes up, you'll get the splash screen and the starting point of the community. So I've gone to the trouble of putting some of our photos up at the top that represents the team, and then also some of the logos of the companies that we support. You'll also see the little flag, or the cloud of some of our first and last names over here. I made the community's theme to be green, but as we navigate to and from some of the different services, you'll see that it does switch over to the default color of blue when we go to activities, which is where I've loaded a lot of the files that was sent out by Tom Zebio and Cindy also. So okay, what goes into the community? We have the discussion forum, which I have put together a question for you all to access. I wanted to get a feel for how much of the Web 2.0 and collaboration stuff that you know and have been doing. So I put together some links from some sites outside of IBM. Most of you have probably heard of Facebook, LinkedIn, and things like that. But then also some of, I think, the key sites that we have inside of IBM. So I'd like you guys to just respond in general. Yeah, Bill, I've been doing Web 2.0 for years and blah, blah, blah. Or not so much. And if not so much, this is why. Or your success stories or anything like that. It doesn't have to be an essay, but I'm trying to get a feel of how much more training we need. And I think this would be a good first thing, is just to respond up into the forum. So from the overview page, you can go to the forum, but you can also see that to the left here, you'll always have the hierarchy of services that we have. So I did put one thing into the forum, and I'd love some responses. In the members section, you'll see all of your photos. I haven't loaded you guys because I wanted to first record this, but everybody will be loaded in right now. Dave's in, and Gene, our other software IT architect, and myself. But you'll see everybody's in there. And one of the cool things is if you click over our name, you can then see what's called the business card, and you'll be able to get to my blogs, my profile, other activities I'm working on, my files that I've loaded in Connections, communities I belong to. You can send me an email. You can also see if I was logged in at the same time, those other actions, you would see that also. Okay, we've already talked about the discussion forum. In the activities is where I am keeping all of our territory information. I broke it down by coverage rep, figured that was the easiest, and then also opportunities opportunistic territory. I also loaded a step-by-step training on Lotus Connections that if you go through these steps, it takes about 3 to 4 hours, but it will show you how to use all the connection tools. So to give you an example of how I broke down the territory, we'll go into Tom's activity. And as I said, when it loads here, you will see that the background around the community turns blue. And I don't have any control over that, so just a heads up. And once we get in here, you'll see that I've got a section for pipeline. You might be aware sent us out like the Hoover's files, and the other structured it for all the coverage reps. Now we don't have research documents except for Tom because he was kind enough to send them out, so we may want to try to load those for the other companies that we're supporting. But then also under entitlements, you'll see that I've now loaded the files that Cindy provided, and if you go to, for example, Navistar, I've also added a comment because I know that they're using Portal, and I think they've decided not to renew, which is interesting. So I just put a comment in there, and you'll see how you can comment on just about anything in here that you like, but you can download the file that Cindy sent out also if you want to see everything that Navistar is currently up to date on. Same would be true for Publicis, or Donnelly, Telebs, etc. So that's what I'm using activities for right now. Under feeds, it's not as important, I would say, to most of the folks listening to this, but I have put the RSS feeds from these activities into our feed section, which means that if you want to, you can add these feeds to your Lotus same time, what's called the plugin for the feeds, and you'll be able to see changes as they happen. As people start to update the pipeline, say for Dan or Judy or Tom, you would be able to see, it would go bold and you'd be able to see that. For files, I'm using as a generic kind of dumping ground for information on the team. So for example, I have a contacts file from Navistar. If any of you want to download it and upload it into Lotus Notes, you could. I have also added the team contact list in a spreadsheet that is just an export from Team Analytics, which if you're not familiar with, is a cool site at IBM that you can get organizational charts where everybody lives. So if you have a meeting with different parts of IBM, it's very handy. You can see the reporting chain and things like that. But it also allows you to download it into a spreadsheet. And then for bookmarks, I'm not done yet, but I have planned to put in all of our clients' home pages. So I have Navistar, I have Publicis, and then I also have the Team Analytics site that I mentioned that is actually our Team Analytics site. When you create a Team Analytics query, you can actually go back days later and see it all over again. And so for those bookmarks, if you look over to the right, I've labeled them important, so as we load more, we'll see them off to the right over here from the landing page. And I might as well take you over to Team Analytics just for one last fun thing to show you. And then I'll end this recording, which I hope hasn't been too long, but I wanted to test out this on the my Macintosh. So here's what the Team Analytics page looks like. Shows how we all report, our reporting chain, and the different divisions that we're in, where we are in the states, and then all of our business cards. Okay, well, I look forward to seeing some more collaboration from us on this Lotus Notes Connections, and I will talk to you all soon.